Hello friends, I'm here with Pung, and yay! This is her third yoga lesson ever in the span of a year, so it's like a 3-month break between each class. So we're going to learn some fundamentals. We're going to work on Crescent pose and Warrior I and discuss the differences between the two. And this stuff is actually useful for even advanced practitioners because as we layer the postures with more information about the alignment, we receive more benefits of the pose. So we're going to do level 1 poses, but with more advanced level awareness, which I think will be accessible to you. All right? So start facing the side. Like this, and you can go in the center of the mat, center this way, okay, and then step 1 foot way back and put your fingertips down. Good.
Like this?
Yes, like this. Now step this foot a little bit further back so that the ball of the foot is underneath the heel. Good. And now your heels are in one line like a tightrope. We want them to be hip width apart. So take your right foot a little bit more to the right. That's perfect. Good. Now think of drawing the right hip to me. So pull this back this way. Not your whole body, just the hip. So see, yes. Do you feel? Yeah, where do you feel that?
Right here.
On the outer hip. So by drawing the outer hip of the front leg back, we intensify the stretch along the muscles there. Good. And actually, let's reach the right arm up. Good. I like to add gentle twist before Warrior I because Warrior I is actually, in my opinion, one of the harder of the standing poses. I think it's harder than Warrior II and maybe not Warrior III. But having the hips level, facing forward, requires some twisting action from the hip to levelize them. Good. Lean the front shoulder back a little bit more. And feel your waist revolve. So you're drawing the left side of your waist underneath you, but try not to let the outer left hip drop. So lift this hip up a little bit. And you'll see when the hip drops because the ankle will go sideways. Keep drawing this hip back. And then lengthen the right side of your waist, the top waist, away from the hip. So we want both sides of the waist to be long rather than shortening that top hip. Lengthen this side of the waist forward a little bit more too. And then see, good, there's space between the neck and the shoulder. Oftentimes students will collapse through there. Think of the sternum reaching to the front of the space, so this bone lengthens through the top of your head forward. So the spine is more straight, and we don't want, she's not doing it, but it's common for that shoulder to hunch for newer students. What Pung's doing nicely is she has space between the end of the shoulder and her neck. Really nice. Okay, and now reach both arms up. Oh, I know, exhausting already.
Oh.
Take a little breather.
Like this?
That's a low lunge. We can talk about that too. Okay, go ahead, reach your arms up. We'll make it a little easier for you. Okay, but keep your foot up where it was. And then lean your hips forward so the knee stacks over the ankle. Good, and then see if you can lift your low belly a little bit more. Okay, and now keep everything the same, but lift your knee up. Keep this knee bent though. Everything else stays the same, just that back knee lifts. There you go. Good, so she's got her low belly lifting. The core from the upper belly draws back. See if you can hug these muscles in a little bit more. There you go. Reach the arms straight up. And have your hands facing each other. There you go. So that helps move the shoulders from a more internally rotated position where the shoulder blades were drawn together to a spread position. You can take a little break for a moment. So just to clarify, when the arms are overhead and the palms are either facing forward or thumbs in, what that's indicative of is the shoulder blades coming together. What we want is the shoulder blades to be nicely spread. And one thing that you can do to help with that is turn the palms to the midline. From there, we reach up. Now, Pung has, relative to people who practice a lot of yoga, tighter shoulders relative to Any other person, she's got fairly open shoulders. When her arms are in that rotation, they're slightly forward of the body, which is fine. Eventually, we'll do shoulder opening work to have the arms in line with the shoulders, in line with the hips. But for now, if they're slightly forward, that's common and it's totally fine. We just want to make sure the arms are straight. That's one thing that gets often mistaken in Crescent pose in Warrior I, the elbows bow sideways. As teachers, we want to be mindful. The shoulders lengthen skyward, so they're not completely drawn down, because that's creating compression in the shoulder joint. And they're not completely raised where we lose the neck. They're somewhere in the middle, the way you would naturally reach up for something, keeping the core engaged. Okay, so take your hands down, step the foot back again. So again, the ball of the foot is underneath the heel. Let's do crescent pose. Reach the arms up. Two arms up, yes. Good. So in this one, the heels are drawing toward each other. So this heel presses forward. The hip is drawing forward. The heel of the front foot is drawing back. The low belly lifts. The arms are straight and lifted. Good. And now we're going to move to Warrior I. So for this one, you're going to turn your back toes in and ground your heel. So step the foot in. You can step it in a little bit. And ground your heel. Good. Keep the front knee bent. Not much changes. You're doing great. And you know what? You can bring your hands to your heart if they're feeling tired. So Pung actually has a nice ability to draw the back hip forward even when that heel is grounded. But if that was hard for her, she could go ahead and take your right foot slightly to the right. So the foot a little wider. Good. And then bend the knee again. This makes it easier to level the hips for many folks. How are you doing? Legs are tired? Calf.
Yes.
Stretching here. Okay, straighten your front leg. And let's switch sides. So what you're going to do, come back here. Nope, the way you were. Go back to the other way. Same foot forward. And then you're going to turn to the camera. And then you're going to turn the other way. Oh, fancy. And now see if you remember how your feet want to go. Yeah, you're doing it actually a very advanced way. So she's in a heel-to-heel alignment. So more traditionally, Warrior I is with the heels in line. For most students, I encourage the feet heels to be hip-width apart so that it's easier to draw the outer hip of the back leg forward. But Pung can do that anyway, so she can do the more advanced variation. So you're feeling it here? Yeah, take your arms down. You're just going to breathe through it. Just breathe through it. It's just a stretch. It's just a stretch. We're thinking of the inner arch of the back foot lifting and the heel drawing forward as the heel draws back on the front foot and that outer hip is drawing forward. So there's a scissoring action between the inner thighs as you inner spiral the inner thigh of the back leg back with the outer hip going forward, and the outer hip of the front knee is drawing down. And then go ahead, once again, reach your arms up. And naturally what she did is she lengthened her ribs off of her waist. So we don't want the arms to be up and the waist to collapse. We want to feel a sense of lifting from there through the fingertips. Look straight ahead. So nope, not down, straight ahead. There you go. And then can you bring your hands to touch touch each other, like up overhead? Cool. That's a super, and then bend the knee all the way. You got it, girl. You got it. Last 3 breaths. Lift up here. Push these muscles back. Push these muscles back. Lift up through the chest. Breathe. Arms straight. 3, 2. Okay, straighten the leg. You can straighten up and relax. Okay? Yeah, that's burn, yeah. It's going to be a quiz later. Twisted lunge, crescent pose, Warrior I. How are you going to do?
I know. It's going to be hard.
Just kidding. That's one of the great things about yoga. You can take as long as you want to learn these things. And because poses like crescent, the gentle twisted lunge, Warrior I are so frequently repeated, you have so many opportunities to reinforce, re-remember, like anything in life. Every second is a second chance.